Donna Smart Muses on these mid-evening musings. And yes, you know what? I've been around since 2019. Just saying, calling my shows musings. But in any case, I'm going to try not to be too snarky tonight because, well, let's talk be happy, happy people. Well, I'm so glad to see you and I'm so glad to be here, even if I'll just be talking to myself because that makes me happy too. But everyone that will be watching the rerun, thank you. The replay and any of you that will be popping in about what would you like to muse. Musings are open musings generally, unless I have veto power because that is the way life is. Let's see, what did I get for Christmas? Nope, that was not what it is. Let me scroll down. About what would you like to muse? Yes, so thank you. Well, one thing that's making me musing, we've had some situations where people have been caught out, haven't they now? Haven't they, precious? Well, I suspected it for a while. I kind of knew that there were some things going on behind the scenes with perhaps some individuals within our circle, but I didn't realize how blatantly the whole paid to play thing was and how much individuals really are not being authentic online. I know, make fun of me. Everyone just choose this time to make fun of me for not having figured that out because, I don't know. What can I say? Here, laugh at me for a few seconds. But yeah, I guess I didn't know to what extent it was and how long this has been the case. Heck, this is probably going back almost as long as the internet and definitely since social media was the thing where we thought that at least that people on our side, these were like genuine opinions. And they were saying what they were saying because, well, they honestly believed so. Because why? Well, that's what I would do. And I think that they work with us in that way because they know that we all have a little bit of a bias within ourselves that, well, this is what I would do. It's like, well, of course, these are reasonable opinions. These are things that people are saying. And it just makes sense. It just makes complete sense that these individuals are echoing what we're hearing. Again, I've always been, somewhat cynical. I just didn't realize how organized it was. And it started to come out a little bit. I think, who was it? Somebody started saying, hey, do you realize that there's actually these chat groups and things and that these individuals are, for lack of a better word, they're employees of these individuals. Like you get so much money for tweeting out something on X, for example, and you don't necessarily have to disclose that you are a representative of that company or you are being paid by it because of the nature in which it works. So a good example of this is what I believed with the Sound of Freedom. I didn't believe it. It was true. When Sound of Freedom came out and just loads of influencers were just really singing the praises of it. And I think maybe that it wasn't quite caught out for me because the praise was true. It was a great movie. It really was a great movie. But I also remember when a certain individual randomly just started dumping all over The Chosen. And I remember going, well, okay, fine. Just being a troll, that's being a pain in the butt. What I didn't know was this person started dumping over The Chosen once The Chosen had left Angel Studios. I didn't realize how many of these people are actually being employed by Angel Studios. And they were even told to say certain things at certain times. Now, I'm not saying that this person started dumping on The Chosen because of that, but it would be something that a petty person would do. It is Steve Kenobi, someone who is not petty. Yeah, I'm just going to rant and rave a little bit. And we started seeing it again with politics. What was it? Right after Bindergate, there was some talking points that they thought was going to work. See, I think Pam Bondi thought she was going to go viral with it, which is why she tried that little social media campaign after it, and it just fell flat because automatically everyone was like, this isn't cool. But at least two influencers who were there said almost the exact same thing. And that was like, huh, all right. So I started watching them, and everyone started watching them like hawks. And then in this recent situation, unfortunate situation that happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, almost everyone said the exact same thing within 24 hours about the White House ballroom. I'm not going to argue about the White House ballroom. Who cares? I'm not going there. But the fact is that they said it almost in lockstep. Then we have Animal Farm. Everyone was scratching their head because unless you've been living under a rock, we've known that Animal Farm was not what it was purported to be. That Animal Farm, this new Animal Farm, is actually the opposite of it. It's not anti-communist, it's anti-capitalist. It's the same kind of lefty stuff that, Andrew Serkis was doing, and he was going out and doing interviews, but for some weird reason, people that otherwise one would consider conservative libertarian, not pointing any fingers on that one, but we're just praising it. Now I'll throw out the names. We had the redheaded libertarian, we had Riley Gaines, who else? Tucker Carlson. They're public figures, so I've got no problem calling them out. Just real head scratchers. Because everyone knew that it was the exact opposite of what the movie was that they were saying. And these are purported to be intelligent people. Well, of course, it was all paid, bought and paid for. So now we know. Now we know you can't trust anybody. Now we know that there's money behind it. As I said earlier in the stream, I've known that there were individuals on a smaller scale behind the scenes, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that they're all working for each other because they're always appearing with each other now in public. And that's the reason why some people are like, why don't they ever visit other channels? Why don't they ever retweet? Why don't they ever seem to support other people? It's because, well, you're not in business with them. Now, I was a part of something similar to that about 10 years ago, but we were actually not being given orders from above. It was just something that we were all telling each other. It's like, hey, let's all help each other out. Let's make sure to retweet and like, etc. But that is something that you do. So I've known it was there, but now we know that everything is paid for. So that's why when some really questionable things happen in the news, and they have been, especially there's been some really bizarre stuff. But over the past month, I've talked about it more on my Catholic Explaining channel. But for some reason, influencers and even mainstream media, the one that we thought we could trust, just the story was not existent. Or they were all saying the same thing. And it's like, no, we know this isn't the case. First of all you have to do is Google it. Google it. Like, I'll just throw it out here, the whole first chapter of Isaiah that the Holy Father was talking about. And everyone was acting like it didn't exist. And then all the answers were, obviously it doesn't, obviously this isn't in the Bible, what he said. It's like, well, yes, it actually is in the Bible. And anyone that Google Okay, my microphone went off. So I was getting very suspicious. It was like, wait a second, you can Google this. It takes 2 seconds of Googling. Why isn't anyone just pointing that out? I was able to Google it for 2 seconds. And it's like, okay, because these people are bought and paid for. And in some cases, like maybe a larger media situation, that the bought and paid for may not necessarily be with a check, but it will be with access. So if that goes down through the grapevine, we do not want you to talk about this. We want you to change the narrative, or else. And I think we've seen what happens with the or else. These people are sent off into oblivion. Yeah. Someone mocked over her microphone and went silent. Yes, that was me, Stieg. And I hopefully fixed it. Let me make sure it's fixed. One of these days, if I ever decide to go on camera, you all will see how I work and you'll understand why that is the case. I'm a talker with the hands, especially when I start to get passionate. But man, out of all of them, this one I think is the most egregious because, come on, it's Animal Farm. Everyone knows what Animal Farm is, and everyone knows what this Animal Farm was gonna be. Now, in the case of these, so it was called influencers, was it because they genuinely didn't know? Which I don't believe. Or they're so used to getting away with it. They're just in this bubble of, we'll just keep distracting people or they won't notice, then that was why. They were just hoping. They're not stupid. These infos aren't stupid. So that's why I lean toward the latter. But in any case, yes, I know. Newsflash, you can't trust anything that anyone says online. But I think that we had really talked ourselves into, me especially, talked myself into, well, we have alternative media now. But it's not. I have told you so to I have a told you so to tell you later. Oh, good, Steeg. I can't wait. I cannot wait. If you want to pop on, let me know because this is a musing. This is open musings. So you can yap, and it's just my frustration. And there was another influencer that I saw because they get cocky who said, "Oh yeah, I put these out here, then I mute." So you're thinking that you are interacting with these individuals, but you're not. They're muting it. That's why you can say, "Hey, I have said this. I have debunked this 1,000 times." They don't care because they're not looking. Their goal is not to discuss with you. Their goal is to get engagement. And it's the same way with, the tired old, George R. R. Martin hates Tolkien. I mean, Google it. It's the exact opposite. And I'm not going there because, you can Google for 2 seconds or even put it into AI, even put it into Grok. It takes 2 seconds. Why do people keep repeating the same thing even though they know it's not true? Because they know there's enough people that won't do so and that will respond. They'll respond either with, yeah, right on, no, you're wrong, or let me explain and tell it to you. They don't care. They've already muted the thread. The whole Lord of the Rings thing that happened with Pasobiec, where he came out and decided, you know what? I don't know, maybe his check wasn't that big that month. So he decided he was going to, as a Catholic, on the Lord of the Rings. And he did. And no matter what anybody said, he either ignored them or responded with an LOL, LOL, and pretended played dumb. Right? This is it's not good, it's not healthy. And so maybe this is a long way of saying, my gosh. Well, now we know. Now nobody has an excuse. I think that this whole Animal Farm thing, this just really blew it all, through the roof. This is just a situation of, hey, wow, these people really have sold their souls. Because I think for the most part, you kind of were like, okay, they weren't caught. How do I put it that way? They weren't caught. I mean, it would be like, God forbid, you saw me suddenly randomly praising the pro-choice cause. Oh, Steve says, sure. Hey, Stig, been a minute. I saw the tagline and got curious. So did you find out the media is fake and that the internet has bots, hon? Hi. Thank you. Yes. Well, I just found out that, well, I've always known the media is fake, but I guess I didn't realize that people I thought were trusted personalities were just as fake, and that they frankly are part of the media. They're like, we're the media now, that they're actually being paid for it. I should have seen it. I should have known it. But man, like I said, this Animal Farm thing, this was crazy. It would almost be the equivalent of, let's just pretend the president, Donald Trump. The president is head of, I don't know, he's an influencer. And in the election, he, in all seriousness, started doing this big campaign to tell everyone to vote for Kamala Harris. It's that weird. Okay, Steve, let me see if I can find my earphones because I have to hide my earphones because my crazy cat. Just 1 second, people. I'm gonna do a faux pas. Yes, I abandoned you all. Yeah, I did find out it was fake. Well, again, I found out it was bought and paid for, but I mean, it's never been this blatant. I mean, and again, maybe it was like this the whole time. People probably were in back rooms and everything, organizing it and getting suckers like me. But yeah, and a lot of the people exposing the individuals from this whole animal farm debacle, I think might be as guilty as they are, to be honest. Oh, yeah, but man, that animal farm. I mean, can you imagine having the nerve to make an animal farm? And it just goes to show how much that they're used to controlling the matrix that they thought that, well, we'll just get Angel Studios to do it because everyone trusts Angel Studios, right? Everyone trusts Angel Studios. And then they will just come and see it because apparently people are not critical thinkers. But again, to think that they wouldn't have been caught out, that's I think probably their biggest sin. That is their biggest sin, that they thought that they wouldn't be caught out and hurt their credibility. People are saying that Angel Studios will probably not recover from this. I can tell you this, I was planning to see that young George. I'm not seeing it now. I don't care. I'm not giving them money. I mean, wow. Fool me once, fool me twice, but I think that because they so well sold themselves, they started off so well as the whole Christian group. And they made great things that were Christian. I mean, well done to the Chosen for getting out of it, but who knows if they were in on the fake stuff. Okay. Sastra Beng says it is so much worse. Don't read the file they eat. I'm not entirely sure what the last reference is to, but yes, the whole Epstein file. Well, that definitely, I think, threw all of us for a pause. And then the gaslighting is like, well, is it really that important? Well, yes, of course it is that important. But even if it wasn't important, it was more the gaslighting. It was more the don't believe what your eyes are seeing. No, we didn't say that. And the way there was journalism for about 24 hours after it, where loads of people were calling BS. Fox News was calling BS on it. And then, boom, suddenly everyone was back on the same page. Well, we don't really need to talk about the files. We don't need to talk about that because you know what? There's been so much that's been accomplished by our president that we need to focus on that. We need to focus on this. In other words, something exactly that the president had said. And it's like, oh, okay, so good evening. Hello, Star Wars Scran. How is it across the pond? Let me see. Steve did get an invite. Great to see you. Yeah. So, Steve did it. Oh, look, they even give me a notice here. All righty. Here we go. Well, hello, Steve.
Hi. The notice wasn't from me.
It wasn't from what?
Notice. I didn't send a notice.
No, you didn't. It came up on my screen from the StreamYard studio. That must be a new thing. It just said it flashed up. Steve has entered the studio, and look who's in the chat.
Well, it's nice that they announced me.
It isn't that nice. Well, look, it's the infamous Steve in Star Wars Scran.
Well,
yes.
I have to correct you. It's pronounced infamous.
Oh, you're right. Damn it. Well, what can I say? Hey, I just woke up from a nap.
That's
infamous.
No excuse for not speaking your own language, madam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm just talking in general. You know that I've been talking, of course, about this for a while, like feeling like something was off. But this whole
might have heard of it.
Oh yeah, I know. You might have heard about it every day and all day. But this Animal Farm thing, though, I think that was what was particularly egregious because I don't know if you were there earlier. It would be as though I was suddenly started giving advertisements for Planned Parenthood. It'd be like,
Well,
they're great. They really help people and they love Catholics, and
isn't
they love
isn't
babies.
Animal Farm written to be kind of anti-communist?
Absolutely, it is. It's all about anti-communist, and it's about the Russian Revolution. It's about the dangers of
Yeah.
communism.
Yeah, and then they tried to make it pro-communist or something.
Yeah, they flipped it, and it was all against the capitalists. That we need to fight the capitalists. I don't
Yeah,
know.
which
Yeah,
is trying to rewrite literature in a way. So if someone says that book is anti-communist, they'll go, no, 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 they made a movie. It was
Mm,
anti-capitalist.
exactly. So sometimes I wonder if these things are being made not for us, for example, or if it's made for the future generations or a time where books like Animal Farm will disappear. And this will be the only thing that people will be able to see, the only thing that people will be able to have access to.
Yeah, and directed by Andy Serkis, I believe, who seems to be interested in rewriting people's impression of Tolkien.
Uh, can you imagine what he's going to do to that? My gosh.
Yeah,
Look who it is. Dig Outlaw. Yeah. It's a trend. It's a trend, but don't believe your eyes. Your eyes are deceiving you. Um,
Adega Outlaw is my favorite Indian. He even has a tomahawk. He showed it to me.
nice.
So he's a proper one.
Does anti-capitalist mean you only use lowercase letters when writing? And that's a good one, Steve. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You know what else? If they're making an anti-capitalist movie,
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't the cinema tickets be free?
Ah, good point. That's never the way it works. But
No.
yeah. But I don't blame Andy Serkis. The lefties, and they've never hidden who they are. But my gosh, what a bunch of ridiculous, silly, foolish influencers, like these so-called conservative influencers that just came out and read something that was just obviously just something that they were paid to read, that praised this movie and even did the opposite. They were trying to say, oh, yeah, look at this movie that's against communism, when the actual director, writer, or whatever, Andy Serkis, had said, no, it's anti capitalist. So I guess they've been fake all along. And I know, shame on me. But now we know. It's one thing that if you just feel like something's off, it's another thing when you see, okay, wait a second, I've got proof now. They're just writing checks to these individuals. And
Yeah. And here's the sad thing: the people that follows these um, bootlicking influencers,
mm-hmm.
they're still going to follow them after this. So people are simply, you know, as long as they're part of a team, they don't care what that team actually stands for or not.
There will be many that will do that.
Yeah.
There are some, though, that I know, like personally, I know that have said, okay, yeah, that's it. I'm done, and that there is a bias that we have, like a personal bias that each individual has, that when you do see someone that agrees with you, you tend to agree with them. So,
Well, here's the trap: a lot of people will agree with people saying stuff that they want to be said, even though even if it's true or not. You know,
mm,
and I guess a good example would be when a lot of people kept going, "Oh, Star Wars is saved," because people want it to be saved,
yes,
but it wasn't. Obviously not.
yeah, or they were trying to read into it
Yep.
what we would do. So,
Yep.
I can't tell you how many times I heard the argument, come on, if Star Wars was yours, wouldn't you do this? And I'm like, yeah, maybe if Star Wars was mine, but Star Wars, just because that's what you would do with Star Wars, that doesn't mean that these hacks in Hollywood would do it, or rather, or save it. Like where the people were saying that George was going to come back and rescue Star Wars. It's like, well, wouldn't you rescue Star Wars? And I'm like, maybe, but maybe I wouldn't have sold it in the first place.
It's very easy to rescue Star Wars.
Yeah.
Actually, all you have to do is get rid of all the Disney crap, call it a different timeline or something, and then go back to what was established before, and get rid of the people who fucked it up.
Yep.
It
But they're
really
not
is
going to
that
do that.
simple. And all they have, get rid of Filoni and all that stuff, and then start with an animated Shadows of the Empire movie, which wouldn't take too long to make.
No. Do Shadows of the Empire. You're right. That would work. Do Shadows of the Empire, then do the Heir to the Empire. Heck, do the whole EU. They would be printing money.
Yeah, well, I don't think they would make movies out of 157 novels or whatever it is.
No, I guess not. But
So I'm thinking if they wanted to, uh, have shows and stuff on Disney Plus, they could take the old Marvel comics, the Star Wars Marvel comics from the 80s, and make that into an animated TV show. Just one comic per episode.
yeah, they could do that. Or if they wanted to stick with an EU pattern, they could do the ones that were pretty plot heavy, like Heir to the Empire, the Thrawn trilogy, even the Jedi Academy trilogy, even though it's iffy. They could do the X-Wing stuff and then do the Hand of Thrawn
Yeah.
duology.
Yeah, and also they could have done the Darth Bane trilogy.
Yes. Oh, that would have been so cool.
Yeah, and also the prequels to the sequels. The Plagueis and Approaching Storm and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because that way they would have like a long line of continued stuff.
Yeah, you're right. But that's if they want to save it. They see no reason to save it. Oh, and that's the other thing. When the whole fire Kathleen Kennedy. Now, I bought it the first time. At the first deadline that passed, and I was like, okay, that's BS. I was only fool me once on the whole fire Kathleen Kennedy, but I also heard a lot of people arguing, well, wouldn't you fire her? It's like, yes, but I'm not working in Hollywood. They have no reason to fire this woman.
Here's the thing. Disney Star Wars, the people working there, they don't realize what's wrong with it, because they are listening to the Disney fans. And Kathleen Kennedy herself said, when it came to lore and story, she had listened to Filoni from day one. The guy who broke all continuity with the Clone Wars and Rebels, and he was also the guy who came up with how Luke and Leia should be treated in the sequel trilogy. So, but what happens is you get like anti-Disney channels like Geeks and Gamers started praising it because of a few seconds of CGI Luke, and did a video saying, "Oh, Dave Filoni should be in charge of Star Wars from now on." And
I remember that. Well, some of that was from the head of Geeks and Gamers. I don't like to call out people unless they're here to defend themselves, but he was a personal fan of the Clone Wars, so he was consistent there. In my
he got exactly what he wanted. Dave Filoni is he was the one behind the witches and the Acolyte, according to Leslie Headland. So,
and if you're
got exactly what you wanted.
No, well, and if Kathleen Kennedy, think about it. With Kathleen Kennedy, it, to me, makes perfect sense that she would listen to Dave Filoni, because we could argue all day long how true it is, but George Lucas was behind the Clone Wars cartoon, the original one, at least the whole
He was
beginning of it. He was in favor of it. It was a part of the old Lucasfilm. Now,
well. Here's the thing: when it was announced, right?
yeah.
It was said by the people doing the show that it would not supersede the EU. It was supposed to be tall tales.
Oh, I get all of that. I'm
Yeah,
just saying it was from the George Lucas era. I'm saying from a certain point of view, I can completely understand why she's like, oh, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. Because, her job is as a producer and stuff. I'm
yeah.
not defending her, but
She has no clue about Star Wars. That's the thing, and likely got taken advantage of by Hidalgo and Filoni.
yeah. And, well,
Because every time, remember every time she opened her mouth, she was clueless.
oh,
She
yeah,
had no clue what she was talking about.
no. But with the exception of Solo, those movies were successful. They should have made more, but objectively speaking, they were profitable. They were, and
Well,
the whole idea.
now I think, but um, apparently the episode 9 was uh, it cost way more than they reported,
Oh
and
yeah,
same with Indiana Jones 5.
oh yeah. Well, definitely by the time we got to Indiana Jones 5, yeah, it was starting to bleed money. But in general, it was still relatively profitable, and that's really all Hollywood studios care about. Um,
Yeah,
See, Star Wars Grant says Clone Wars operated similarly to the rest of the EU with guidance and approval from George. Filoni was the one changing established lore because he knew George didn't know any better.
well,
Wait. You mean what do you mean
uh,
George didn't know?
kind well, George didn't know all the EU.
Oh, I see
Um,
what you're saying. Okay.
yeah, but George Lucas, when he started filming Red Tails, and also tried to make that Star Wars Underworld show,
Yes.
he basically left the Clone Wars, which was after season 2. It wasn't that involved as people like to think. So
Yeah.
Filoni was left to his own devices. And if you look at the Clone Wars season 1 and 2, it doesn't really smash the lore to crap as much as the later show seasons do.
Okay. And it looks like Star Wars Grand, yeah, he clarified that. Okay, I'm just saying, call me a little bit sensitive there, but I get it because George also had a very good experience with the EU, so he knew he could trust. Well, with the EU, he could trust those people. Those people loved the stuff, so they weren't going to change it. And why should he think otherwise? Well, like I was just saying here, like, why should I be surprised that it turns out that the influencers that I thought were on our side that even actually gave me hope? It's like, yeah, finally people are speaking for us. Just turns out they're just paid. They're just
Yeah,
employees. They're
yeah.
fake. Same
It was,
idea. Fool me
yeah.
once.
Same thing with the. Remember back in the day, we were on channels, people saying, "Yeah, we should just support the Star Wars EU to let Disney know what kind of Star Wars we want and just boycott the rest." How
Yeah,
many of them stuck to that? Almost none.
that's true.
No.
Yeah. And logically, it makes sense. Why not? That's fair. Of course, we now know that the way that Hollywood works, they wouldn't give a one way or another. All they knew is that people were spending money on Star Wars. So if you bought, say, quote unquote, Legends and all of that, we weren't sending a message to them. We were hoping we were sending a message to them, but they only look at dollar signs. And they're like, well, if these suckers are going to keep paying for it, well, then they must be happy. And a Dig Atlas says the whole problem stems from playing in someone else's sandbox. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and basically, if you're allowed to play in someone else's sandbox, don't take a shit in it.
Yeah. But you see, that's where the bias that I was trying to talk earlier, and maybe bias isn't the right word because I'm not sure naivete is either. But again, that's something that we would not do. It's like, of course, we would never do that. Like, if someone were to entrust me with this kind of an IP, the last thing that would occur to me would be to crap all over it or to change it fundamentally. I guess if I were to use an analogy, when I'm working with classical music, I would never even think as a conductor to say, okay, let's look at this piece by Beethoven, and kids, guess what we're going to do? We're going to change this note. We're going to change that note. We're going to make it minor, major. We're going to have you deliberately play wrong notes in the middle of it. That would be absurd. No, we look at the music and we honor it. Um, so it's the same
Well,
kind of
yeah,
concept.
I mean, how much can you change something before it isn't what it was? And
Precisely.
I also have a when it comes to influencers and stuff, basically selling out. I have a prime example for you, pun intended.
Nice.
The Rings of Power.
Oh gosh.
Remember?
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, all those big Tolkien fan channels and stuff, respect Tolkien and blah blah blah, got invited to a castle to have a dinner. And then they started praising the Rings of Power show. That was all it took, a dinner at a castle.
Yeah. Well, what was even worse with that was it came out that some of them weren't even Tolkien fans. There was that one, the woman, the one I think who she does more Harry Potter things, and she didn't even watch it when it came out. They were just looking to find influencers, and they thought that, well, Tolkien fans, well, it's fantasy and they're idiots. We'll just bring out an influencer to say that they liked it. So in some cases, it wasn't even Tolkien fans. So in that case, yes, they did sell out, but it was just a chick that took a paycheck and didn't even watch it. She's like, I watch Harry Potter.
It
It,
was that the chick from India, like an English Indian
it,
lady?
it could have been she was visually impaired. I remember. So no, I don't think she was Indian.
Well, she was visually impaired. She couldn't even see the shit in front of her that they showed her.
Possibly,
That
if it, yeah. So what I'm thinking about, yeah, knowing is half the battle. Yeah, it does, and I guess better late to the party than never. But well, I think we had such a huge victory in 2024 that we actually thought it was all genuine. And as things start to flounder, it just becomes more and more obvious that I don't know.
well,
It's
when
just
things start to flounder, you need to pay extra care to keep your footing.
yeah, exactly.
It's like being on a boat.
Yeah. You're right, and keep your eyes on the horizon. Don't they tell you that if you keep your eyes on the horizon, you won't get seasick?
Don't know. I've never been seasick.
Well, I'm glad you're perfect.
No, I
Um,
never. I haven't really been in a situation where I would be.
well, you can get seasick out in fishing boats and stuff. You've been out in
Yeah, but
those.
the weather's not that
Mm,
bad if you're out in a small boat.
okay. Well, that's what I've heard. Everybody Google. But I mean, and maybe it's the boomer inside of me, even though I'm not a boomer, but that kind of boomer mentality for those of us that grew up with the internet, where we were, I don't know, there was a certain amount of trust in official outlets, but even unofficial outlets. Like, so when the internet happened, we actually were thinking this is a good thing. The internet's going to make these things being exposed even better, like because we're going to have more information. When I would almost argue we are worse off now with more information, quote unquote, information than we were back in the day where you had to go to the library and go through an index card to find a book.
Yeah, I mean, uh, what's the price we have to pay for too much information? You know,
Yeah.
I think Denzel Washington pointed that out. He was talking about it, and he said with too much information, it becomes a race to be first.
Yeah. And
And when that happens, they don't have to worry if what they're saying is true or not. You just have to be first and loudest. And I think that's probably spot on
yeah.
because people just need read headlines, and Well, we've seen certain headlines involving a late author have been flat out lies.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about? Tolkien?
No, well, there's that too, but I was thinking of George Martin.
Oh, but he's alive. You said the late author.
No, have been a lie. A lot of the headlines have been a lie.
Oh, I thought you said late author. Or maybe I'm just losing my mind.
Oh, no.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Well, he is a late author because he's, you know,
oh, late. Gotcha. Late with books. Yes, of course. Yeah, they'll even the headlines will say, what is it? George Martin talks about the plot holes, and then you look and he's not talking about plot holes, or listen to him criticize Tolkien, and he's not criticizing Tolkien. It's just
yeah.
people just read the headline and the thing. But
And
yeah,
then
that's
they and then
definitely the
they
case.
and then they spurg out and attack him on behalf of Tolkien, which I mean, you're not supposed to attack other authors. Like, oh, Tolkien pissed on C.S. Lewis properly,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, but he didn't piss on them in the same way that I mean he was doing it from a point of view from friendship though, where they
Yeah,
definitely but
but
they would go and they criticized each other.
you can still twist it that easily.
Oh, absolutely. Gotcha. Late with books, late with product. Okay, everyone's giving me hell. Yes, I get it. I get it now. Thank you. I got it.
And this interaction, right? If we were famous, there would be a headline tomorrow. Steve Kenobi claims George R. R. Martin's dead.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
very good example. And well, I mean, it's just a matter of people wanting to get headlines and engagement. And in the case of, Posobiec, when he crapped all over the Lord of the Rings and tried to call it overtly pagan, it's just like it was just so ignorant and so in your face. And now I don't know if he was paid to say that. And in his case, I think it was just that he wanted to get some engagement because he did. I mean, he did get the attention that he ordered because he's definitely it's very addicting getting that. But he is also a paid person as well.
I
He's
think
one
he
of those.
said what he said simply because he's stupid. He portrayed himself to be a fan of something that he didn't know because it would look good if he claimed for years that he was a fan of something. The only thing, well, if you look at Tolkien's work, right?
Yeah.
The only thing pagan there is that Gandalf is loosely based on or loosely inspired by Odin, you know,
Yeah.
and
Very loosely. But
you have some Beowulf stuff in there, inspirations. And I guess the dwarves and certain names are from Norse mythology,
yeah.
but
The
that doesn't mean it's pagan teachings, is it?
Well, no, and of course that's not what it is at all. But I guess in the case of this individual, what makes the fakeness wasn't necessarily him portraying himself as a fake fan. It was portraying himself. I hate to say this, he's definitely very open about trying to portray himself as a super Catholic, but a super Catholic that can't read the Lord of the Rings and understand it for what it is, and then to come out and call it overtly pagan, he was kind of outing himself that maybe he's not as knowledgeable in the faith as he portrayed himself to be. And that's,
Well,
I think, where it was just really, and then he said, I don't care what Tolkien himself said about his book. And I'm like, that was the other thing that just threw it out for me. It's like, if the author tells you this is what my book's about, this is like Andy Serkis trying to tell us that, well, in my mind, Animal Farm is really about anti-capitalist, not anti-communist. But either way, maybe it was because he was stupid, but the fact that I look at the way that people respond when they are given other information. So, like, for example, if I were to say something really dumb, really ignorant about something, I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Oh, something about physics. Okay. And I totally mess it up. And I go, oh, okay, man, thank you for correcting me. I just don't know it very well. All right. I'll keep that in mind from here on out. But the fact that the trolling just kept continuing and the absolute unreasonableness behind it of not changing or not acknowledging an alternative opinion. And we see people do that not for money often on X. They get addicted to the dopamine of just what you get from being a terrible person doing that. We've seen that. But in this case, we know that he gets money because he gets interaction. So that was an indirect kind of a payment
Well,
that he got.
when it comes to Tolkien being a Catholic or a Christian work, whatever you want to call it, uh, I'm not religious, yet I spotted that easily. Yes,
Exactly.
this is Christian work, no question about it. It's that easy to spot it. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of in your face at times. How the heck can a self-proclaimed Catholic miss that? It's impossible. He's
Mm.
either retarded or he's lying.
He's never actually read the books.
I bet you
But
watched the movies.
yeah, but even the movies you can see it. But the annoying part there is the not being willing to take correction on it. It's like, hey, just don't even take the L. No one would ever think badly of anyone if they were to say, "Oh, I didn't know that." But then to come back and say, "I don't care what Tolkien said about it." So then we were getting into trolling territory where it's like, okay, this
Yeah,
person isn't serious.
he said that when people showed him the Tolkien letters, and heck, he even says it on that one video I found when
Hmm.
they ask the interviewer asked if it's consciously religious or whatever, or
Hmm.
whatever it was, and then Tolkien said yes, yes, in especially in revision.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
it wasn't that religious to begin with, but then he mixed it in.
Yeah.
So probably the second draft or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Well, because when something is so much a part of you, you can't help but put it in to the work. Not to too.
That makes you wonder. The guy who wrote the Hannibal Lecter books. What's
Oh
in
gosh.
you know?
Well, you're on a total different plane there. Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's the thing, but again, I'm not sure in his case, that was the kind of buying where you're buying engagement, where you throw out things, online rage bait. So much rage bait. How many times do we see rage bait? Uh, Now, when people in our circle or X our circle try it, I always say you have to ignore them because you don't want to give them the attention that they order. But also, I mean, how many times have we seen it in the political sphere? Eon Olmore said this. What do you want to tell her? Or is she right? And you
Yeah.
know that the person posting it isn't asking, is she right?
Speaking
Or
of
how many.
people usually right, Lorena is in the chat.
Oh, yay! We love Lorena. Well, we love everybody. Hello. Hi, Teresa and Stieg. Why, hello, Lorena.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, she doesn't do that Bolshevik. Not at all. Huh? Speaking of which, yeah. Um, at Shark Bait Bully. Oh, I have definitely. I was there from day one promoting those near Conan. They're really,
Oh,
really good. The Conan the Barbarian ones are amazing.
I think you should read the tweet, the message.
Oh,
He's
but
talking about the game.
oops. Try the Conan graphics. Oh, I thought graphic novel. Oh shit. I just well, how's this? Now watch me. Watch me say, oops, that was really stupid of me. I
Yeah.
should have read the
Robert
whole
E.
thing.
Robert E. Howard wanted it to be an allegory for a Bible.
Yeah. You see how hard was that? Oops, I was
Yeah.
wrong. I was dumb. I admit I didn't read it, and let's move on. Now
Just
imagine if I
for
was one of these influencer shills, I would be like, LOL. Obviously, you didn't hear me when I said it. And it's like, boy, you know, I don't care what anyone writes, whether or not, obviously it's talking about the comics and the graphic novels, not some game. What's wrong with you?
yeah, it's that online game that you and I played for a little bit a few years back.
Yeah.
It's gotten, a graphic update, much like the first Red Dead got a few months ago.
Gotcha. Well, maybe I will. Right now, I'm so much into Red Dead too. Yeah, well, it's of course, yes, the Star Wars Grand. You're exactly right. Pagan origins aren't inherently bad, like the wedding ring, for example, doesn't promote fault worship, etc. Well,
Yeah.
precisely. So many things in the church we call it we baptize them. Obviously, not literally. Even dates. We know that Christmas wasn't celebrated on December 25th. Okay, yeah, and and that's the other thing. So to
It
say
was
that just because it's shown in a symbolic way, like the lembas bread being the most holy Eucharist, it's like, no, he doesn't call it the Eucharist. He calls it the lembas bread, the bread of the elves, of the angel, and all that. We call it the bread of
the
angels.
bread of the immortals.
Yes, there
But
we go.
yeah, well, another thing, the Christmas tree.
Yeah, Christmas
That's not
tree,
inherently bad, as far as
Yule
I
log.
know.
No, well, there's loads of stuff. There's loads of things. I mean, look at Our Lady of Guadalupe. Obviously, Mother Mary was not an Aztec princess. I mean, come
You know
on.
what I want to get for a Christmas tree? Uh, a Predator action figure, and have him stand up there on one of the branches, so I can lean close to people and go, "Look there, in them trees." Just
Wow.
quote the movie.
We'll do it, but you never have a Christmas tree.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
don't
little too.
either. I never put mine up in time. Well, I only put mine up on Christmas, and usually by then I'm at my folks. This is the money line, Star Wars Grand. Some people are just disingenuous for attention. Yeah.
Yes,
And
and
what
they
we
will double down if they're afraid that their credibility is at stake.
yeah.
You see that. Well, to be fair, you see it on both sides. If someone's talking, having a Tolkien argument or a Star Wars argument, whatever,
Mhm.
it's definitely not on just one side.
No, 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 it's definitely on both sides. And the kind that I was talking about that made me trigger this for this musings tonight was the idea that we actually learned that it's not just always people that are just doing it for attention or doing it for engagement, that we know that there are actual organizations, and it's organized as heck, that are literally paying these people to write certain things and write them in certain ways. And of course, the Animal Farm was where they really got caught. I mean, but come on. I mean, heck, I do more research when I'm trying to get a taco. I mean, if this was my job, don't you think you'd double check? And everyone's saying hello to La Reina. Sean Sue is saying greetings. Hello. Everyone's saying hello. Conan Exiles, I see. Trees belong outside. And then Stieg, Shamsu says, Stieg, if you do that, be sure to add a tiny laser pointer to the predator figure. I love
Yes.
it. Oh my gosh, that's badass.
Oh,
Do it.
and also get some action figures, and smear them with ketchup and stuff and remove their heads, so it looks like the predator skinned them and hung them up on the branches.
Oh my gosh, that's dark.
Yeah, but he does that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's like the Mandalorian movie inviting shills with zero engagement to hype their movie. Oh, interesting.
Well, it's not the Mandalorian, it's the Mongoloidian. Let's be accurate.
Wow.
See, Lorena supporting the predator thing too.
There you
We now
go.
we now have a diverse crowd of people supporting my art idea.
Oh, well, then that must mean that. Well, I don't know what that means. Yeah, all of this is true. Everything that everyone's saying is true here. Yes. Well, and of course, with zero engagement, because I think some of these are actually paid people. That's why you'll sometimes see like YouTube channels. We've seen it so-called quote unquote organically, or sometimes otherwise, where you'll see these folks like starting to make YouTube videos, and looks like it was produced by a Hollywood. I mean, the production values are insane for some random person who just started up a YouTube channel, and then they suddenly get like loads and loads of views. And sometimes people consider them bot views, but either way, or they get loads of stuff like millions. We saw this with some of the
Yeah.
politics that happened before Elon Musk got X, where people would get like million followers overnight. It's like that just doesn't happen.
Yes. Scran knows the Steve Kenobi channel lore. Just put an action figure in the glass and fill it with water and claim it's a reference.
Oh gosh, yeah, you messed with people on
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
I didn't intend to, but yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that one escalated.
Yeah. Well, there was somebody I don't want to. Well, I guess I could mention her name, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. That I was like, wow, look at these production values. Wow, this gal has more than 1 million subs. And I'm like, she's just not very interesting to me. Why? And then I find out that she was actually employed by a studio. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, and that's starting to take over YouTube. Now, there have been some people that have said that with this animal farm, they were approached to do this canned response and they refused. Now, did they do that after the fact to say, ha ha ha, it's a virtue signal? Or I don't know. I think that there might be some truth to that because we know that they do approach people to ask them to give favorable views, and sometimes you'll get perks in the place of money. Literally, in some cases, some
Yeah.
cases it will be
Well, heck, that has happened
merchandise.
on you. That has happened on YouTube too. Like, yeah, praise my channel and I'll send you a $500 super chat. You know,
Oh, once you see that, you can't
yeah.
unsee it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen it firsthand.
They
But
swap super chats back and forth. Yeah, it's a
yeah.
money laundering kind of thing.
Well, it's just basically the same $500 being sent back and forth between a bunch of channels.
Yeah.
But I sent you a picture on Twitter,
Okay.
which I I saved it a while ago, which I thought was it showcases how money certainly has been handed to influencers.
Oh yeah, this is the one that was going around. Yeah, the one where let's just read these out loud. Um, this is why President Trump needs to build the White House ballroom. Someone else lived the TikTok. This is why we need Trump's ballroom. Jack Posobiec. Thank God President Trump is building a ballroom of the White House because they have to change a few words, but they say something else. In wokeness, now you know why the left is suing to block Trump's privately funded White House ballroom. Wall Street Max. We've read we need the White House ballroom. Meghan McCain. See, that's interesting. The fact that she's definitely on the payroll because, like her hater, whatever about her father, definitely her father was not a fan of Donald Trump. I don't want to hear one more effing criticism of Trump's new ballroom at the White House. And the key words here are ballroom and White House. And they also say that you can do a hashtag and that there's certain keywords. So the keywords are heard. Now you know why they don't want Trump to build a ballroom in the White House. So the keywords I think were Trump, ballroom, and White House.
All of them did all those tweets within hours.
Yes, and they were probably told to space them out a little bit. And usually, what was it that they said? You have about 24 hours or a 48-hour window to get the money.
I have a question for Lorraine on the chat. What exactly does heffa mean? I've seen Lorena use that word a lot, but I'm not sure what it actually means.
Oh, I
I
can
was
tell
the
you.
same. I'll be careful because, well, you weren't on that stream, but I was explained by Lorena and Christy what swamp ass means, and that started a thing with Christy that lasted for years.
Oh
So
gosh, we need to do a
have, have
reunion.
to be careful with having Lorena explain things to me.
Okay. Well, the context is that dumb Megan McCain heifer has me blocked on X for years because I called out the hypocrisy of her father. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. Well, I'll explain it. Let's see. Okay. I'll let Lorena explain it. The heifer is a nice Southern term to say that instead of the B word. And correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that from heifer? It basically is like big fat cow. Instead of saying heifer, you say heifer. It's
Yeah.
it's a
So
thing.
she's calling her a bitch.
Yeah. And also it can be a reference from what I understand to fat.
Okay.
But you can call someone a heifer or even call someone like a big fat bitch even when they're not fat. It's a thing. Predator in a
I,
glass
ju- I
could
just
be huge.
I just say big fat bitch.
Well,
And
that too. But
straightforward.
but even if they're fat or not, like you can use that even if the person's 90 pounds soaking wet. Nerdporeal, I'm getting close to finally finishing Crossroads of Twilight. Well, that's a miracle. I will DM you and Teresa, what's up, Steeg? And Steeg is still my huckleberry. Oh, yeah, there was that
Well,
little,
that's good.
yeah, romance thing. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Yes. Heffa
Warms my
equals to,
heart to know that there's someone out there thinking I'm a huckleberry.
there you
And
go.
not just that, their huckleberry.
Oh, dear. Yay, laugh out loud, Teresa. Yes, indeed. Yes, everyone's here. Yeah. So, and of course, what made me go this direction was the Animal Farm. I think that might be the end of all of this because from here on out, people are watching. And I think that people are going to start collecting these things because they've burnt their goodwill because they've also turned to biting the hand that feeds them. And I think that that's what caught my eye. Because I guess maybe at the end of the day, I knew, okay, you've got the left, you've got the right, that they all attack each other. You know, they're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be crappy to the left if you're a right influencer and vice versa. What has
Well,
been striking me,
makes me wonder if it's all coordinated between them. Like this week, you attack us, and we attack you next month, and then we'll all get engagement.
possibly, there could be that to it as well. But at the end of the day, that at least makes sense. What we've been seeing over the past 8 months, and I started calling out the second I saw it because I felt like something was off. What we started to see is friendly fire. We have started to see not the right attacking the left. We have been seeing the right attacking their own supporters, the right attacking their own voters. It's the equivalent of Disney attacking their customers, like a business attacking their customers. Like you don't attack your customers. And that's what's weird, that these actions have been against the people that basically put them where they are right now, even these influencers. Where do they think the money comes from? The Easter Bunny? You're going to finish the Wheel of Time in the next month. Wow. Well, you got a lot of books to read, man. Go
Well,
for
that
it.
finishing the Wheel of Time in the month, it means he's on a roll.
Oh, Heffa equals one that smells like cheap cheese. B-O. Hit the like button. Yes,
Oh
please.
shit, that's me.
Oh, no, you do not. Or,
No, I haven't had a cheeseburger in a long time.
oh, I'll tell you the last cheeseburger I had. I think I have one once every 3 months, definitely at least once a year. It's always after the Easter vigil, after I'm done singing for like 5 hours. It's midnight. And I'm like, I'm getting a hamburger. And I go to Whataburger. Got a I got
So
a cheeseburger last time with a double patty and I couldn't finish it. I mean, it was ridiculous, but it was still
basically, if you sleep with a heifer, you get high cholesterol.
yes. And remember, this is open musing, so if you want to throw out something else to muse, but I think that people overestimate or underestimate, what's the right word, the intelligence of individuals, that there
Oh,
are a lot of sheep.
these days, it's definitely overestimate.
Yeah. But but while we know there are lots of sheep, there are also a lot that aren't. And hell hath no fury like a woman scorned or betrayed, or a person scorned or betrayed. And so I look forward to the next time they all start tweeting the exact same thing. I look
Yeah.
forward to them being
You know
mercilessly
the
mocked because
you know
they have it coming.
I'm actually old enough to remember when Posobiec and others were posting screenshots of the lefties doing exactly the same tweets over and over in between them, and
Hmm.
now they've done the same. So
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of ironic.
Never underestimate the stupidity of the masses. Yes, agreed. Yeah. And indeed, indeed. Um, but again, what struck me was when you know that something can be debunked, especially with Google, now AI stuff, it only takes 1 second. Like whenever I see anything that I think, hey, this is just a little weird, this is a little off, or I better double check it before I talk about it, talk about it on screen, talk about it with other people, you just double check. And maybe they enjoyed so much support, they underestimated that it wasn't a transactional kind of support. I think that they got so high on themselves with the dinners they get invited to and the access that they get. They forgot who put them where they are. Because at the end of the day, there were, even if it was astroturfed or whatever the correct term is, the support did come from the people. They underestimated, just like everyone else, they get so high on themselves, they think they can afford to attack the hand that feeds them, bite the hand that feeds them. And I'll tell you, it's not going to work. But yeah, I used that example earlier where I was just so annoyed where it's like every conservative was saying the exact same thing. Oh, obviously this person doesn't know anything about the Bible. The
You
Pope.
know what else?
It's like, and they could have
People,
Googled to know what he was talking about. Yeah.
you know what else people with blue check marks tend to do? Uh, they'll basically go, "Oh yeah, now it's time to deal with them," and then there's like a picture of a gun or something, right? Stuff like that. Time to clean up the corruption, blah blah blah, and then there's a picture of a gun, or you know,
Mm,
and I'm like, I enjoy shitting on those because it's simply just virtue signaling, and I'll leave a comment going, "Okay, go do it," or
yeah.
did you really mean that everyone else should do it and not you? Usually gets me blocked, but
Yeah.
it is a form of virtue signaling. You know,
Y- Yeah.
people acting tough and showing off a gun, and yeah, that's it. This is it. Now we're gonna do something about it. Like, okay, do it then.
Yeah. Though,
Crickets.
though, are we dating ourselves now? Because blue check mark means something completely different nowadays, because blue check mark just means that you subscribe to X
Y-
premium. It's
yeah,
not the
but
elite thing
it
it used to be.
yeah, but if you have a blue check mark, you can get monetized.
Ah, gotcha. So they're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different kind of meaning behind the. I
And they
understand what you mean. Yeah.
always post it in the comment section that has a lot of comments, or they'll quote tweet their own tweet into it.
Trying to get that
Yeah,
engagement money. Yes.
leeching.
Yeah. It's really ruined X as a platform. I basically only use it nowadays for I what can I say? I use it for the DMs and Lord of the Rings memes because I've been having a lot of fun with them. Because I try not to, though I have been dunking on Thune because I have some satisfaction that everyone piles onto him every time he does anything. What was it? He's like, "Hi, look, here I am at a baseball game," and everyone just piles on. Or, "We're gonna fight corruption," and then everyone piles on him. So I must admit,
Yeah, it's like
I joined
he's
in on
gonna
that.
punch himself.
Oh, nice. That's a good one.
But
Yes.
yeah, you know what? I was there. Gandalf. When the internet happened,
Yes.
and we were told, yeah, this is going to connect people, and you get to talk to people from around the world. Um, I never moved past that. That's really what I use it for. Uh,
Mhm.
Twitter is it? Yeah, I'll shit on some Disney Star Wars crap or whatever, but mostly I actually look at retro gaming stuff, and
Mm.
like you, I use it for DMs to talk to people. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm 20, 30 years behind.
Yeah. And now that people use it for money, for as a source of revenue. So that's why it's not an incentive to be honest, good, and true, and your souls are in danger. I always say that if you're a Christian, if you actually believe, like I believe, if you believe that stuff, can you imagine? Can you imagine going to the gates of judgment, going to Judgment Day, and losing your salvation over a few extra bucks on the internet?
Yeah,
Because
I don't think super chat will get you through the pearly gate.
no, it will not. You certainly will not. And not just that, that it's very much like if you've ever seen someone in the thralls of alcoholism, you know how it starts. Maybe once or twice they might get a little bit mean spirited or do something dumb. And then as they get as the addiction gets worse and worse, they get meaner and meaner if they're, if they're mean drunk, and until they're just, unrecognizable. They're just like shadows of themselves. The addiction that social media is, whether it's getting money or addiction from the dopamine hits, it's the exact same thing. It's soul destroying, and it's not good. But I do like when I see that some of these campaigns don't work against people anymore. People aren't being fooled by it. So I think that they deserve everything that they get. And I hate to be that way, but that's just the way it is. Sometimes
Well,
the greatest punishment you can get is to get what you want.
I don't wish harm on people really, but I don't mind when they end up face down in a shit puddle of their own making either.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's
You know?
one thing to go out and seek it, or to just let justice play out. Just let people reap the consequences of their own actions. And it's usually something very, very bitter. It's a very, very bitter drink. For what? Well, I find it fascinating because I've been ranting and raving about it. It's like to be to think that you really think that you could shame us out of the faith of our fathers, for example. That's what the influencers and the powers that be have been trying to do over this last 2 months. It's like, wow, you guys really got very high on yourselves that you feel like you can just turn on us on a dime and we're just going to bend over and spread our cheeks. Maybe one or two will, and we've all seen the ones that have 30 pieces of silver, but for the most part, it's like our cheeks, at the risk of sounding blasphemous, our cheek will not spread for that. They might spread for other things, but never for our souls, never for the faith. Another example of where they want us to shame us out of, well, in with the politics, is we do see what will happen when a politician, a representative, or even an influencer decides to go outside the narrative. They will be crushed, they will be destroyed. So people see it as a cautionary tale. It's like, okay, I could be all principled like so and so, but that will be the end of me. And what do they choose? The fact that they choose to spread their cheeks, that also says something about their integrity.
Yeah, kind of like not going along with the Disney Lucasfilm Civil War narrative, or
Oh, yeah, I
that
remember when, yeah.
that a certain show didn't fix a brand.
Yeah,
Remember,
people.
Mara particularly got crucified.
Well, yeah, and you did too. They went after you guys hard, and it's like, listen, all you guys are doing is saying what you're seeing before your very eyes. It's
We said
and
exactly the same thing we said about the writing in the Last Jedi, really. And look now, is it fixed? Nah.
no. And then they just quietly move on and pretend it never happened.
Yep.
What was odd about that was, so what if Mara says that? So what if Steeg says that? So what if, there were a few others? It's like, move on with your lives, maybe? It's like, okay. Um, yeah, that's been a little bit crazy, hasn't it been? Yeah, what's another well, nobody's gonna shame me into what is it? To quote St. Thomas More, he used this story. Everyone needs to watch A Man for All Seasons. It's a great movie. Or The Tudors season 2 does really well with it. The story he told about a virgin, and it was like, how do we like get her or something? It's a very long story, but they go, oh well, we won't be harming a virgin if we first deflower her. So if we want to devour her, we will first deflower her, and then we won't be devouring a virgin. And then Thomas More turned it around and said, you can devour me, but you will never deflower me. And that's where I am too.
Imagine if that lady was named Daisy Flowers.
Yes. Oh, the tutors. I guess I said the key word. Yes, the tutors. Yes. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm currently watching it for the first time.
Yeah.
I'm on episode 5. Henry's sister just killed a Portuguese guy.
Yes. And I warned you about there's historical inaccuracies. That didn't happen.
Yeah,
Not even close.
I kind of suspected that was artistic license.
Yeah, and they didn't even marry the king of Portugal, and there were 2 sisters. One was Mary, one was Margaret. One went up to Scotland and became the queen there, and that's where we get hold of the Mary Queen of Scots thing. And I believe it's Mary was the one that married the French king. And
Mary is the one from is it the White Queen?
No, the White Queen was Elizabeth. No, wait. Yeah, Elizabeth. Both of them were Elizabeths. They were all named Elizabeth. They're all named Mary, and they're all named Margaret. So you're...
Yeah, I'm getting confused.
Yes, but different era. But yes. Now, I've told you, though, that, of course, is historically inaccurate, though some things with Brandon and her were true. But you'll wait and see. They mess up Thomas Tallis in that, and they do some things with Wolsey and Thomas More in episode 10 that just downright isn't true. You can just Google it up, and it's not true.
Both you and Lorena,
mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen it, need to watch The Last Kingdom.
Oh, I know. You've told me I need to.
It's right up your alleys.
Lorena says there never was a civil war, but they acted like there was one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it got views, and then they synergized their channels.
Exactly. And gets you attention, or the whole Easter eggs, or, was it Filoni? Who was the one that was supposed to be sending us secret signals?
It was Favreau and Filoni.
Favreau and Filoni were sending us secret signals. Yeah.
And here's the thing: the people who said that were saying, "Yeah, they're paying attention to our channels. That they know we're against them and blah blah blah." And then like, okay, so if Filoni and Favreau are sending secret signals, you just outed them.
Yeah. Well done.
During a civil war. Yeah. Right.
Well, I always say how you know someone does not have a source is if they publicly talk about them. I've told you before. I've never told you who, though, did I? I had sources. I had big sources, huge sources. I never publicly talked about it.
I had the biggest source once. Didn't name them. Remember that?
Yes, mine was bigger, but most people guessed who knew at the time who our sources were, but we never publicly talked about the sources. This is actually one of the first times I'm talking about sources, but this is like 15 years on. Okay, it's going to be fine. But I have never told, even now, even though they probably wouldn't care at this point. But how you know someone doesn't have a source is if they publicly talk about having the source about something that's contemporary.
Oh,
Um,
I would like to point out to a day outlaw. I haven't done anything demented in D&D for quite a while.
oh, where was it? Oh, Demented Ideas. Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because we're doing a Western D&D now,
Hmm.
uh, Old West set in 1890. So it hasn't been any. Yeah, I don't think there's been too much really demented in that one,
Not really.
which means there
No.
probably will be because eventually I'll just be overtired and go, okay, yeah, I'll put that in there, see how they react.
You did with Mara. Well, you always open it up where Mara is in a compromising position.
Well, she asked for it. I told her if she keeps giving me lip, I'm gonna stick her character, stick a ball gag in her character
And
every
you
damn time we start a new game. And she kept giving me lip. So now every time we start a new game, her character starts up tied up with a ball gag. I warned her many times. She didn't listen like a woman. Now
wow.
she has to live with it every time.
Yep. Yep. Oh yeah. But yeah, you can try to deflower you can try to deflower us, but you cannot. You can devour us.
What?
Oh, I'm going back to what I was saying
I
about
have
the
not tried
tutors.
to deflower you or Mara, madam.
I was just looking at Lorena's um Lorena's thing. Yeah,
Wow.
then there's a great line. This is all they do a good job of showing the actual ones. I was thinking the tutors where Thomas More very rightly says, and this is also a lesson for today. When they're sitting there going, "Hey man, just give in, just suck it up," all of that.
Are we still
And
talking about the flowering?
well, that was the metaphor that he
Oh,
gave. Was obviously it was metaphorical, but they're
mm.
like, well, you do realize that you may have to pay the ultimate price, and he's just like, these are arguments for children, not for me. And he said the only difference between you and me, Master Cromwell, is that I am going to die today, and you are going to die tomorrow. Because when you give in, uh, when you're dealing with some corruption of that high a level, they're not going to stop with the Thomas Moores. They're just going to start with the Thomas Moores.
The
They'll end with
dildo of
you.
justice never arrives lubed.
That's a good one. The
Yeah,
dildo of justice never arrives lubed.
you can take that to the bank.
I can. I can indeed. What was it? 8 o'clock? Man, I've been talking for nearly an hour and a half. Well, it helps that I had you on. Yeah, I just felt like I had to get it off my chest because, I mean, wow. Talking about being caught red handed with this whole Orwell thing. And it's just like, I am deceased. LOL. Yeah. And well, that might be one that actually, if Thomas More lived nowadays, he might use. He was not afraid of those kind of analogies.
I
Wow.
remember killing Lorena with well, accidentally, because I just said what popped into my head when I mentioned that Honey Boo Boo looked like Down syndrome Marilyn Monroe, which she
Mm,
does.
yeah. Well, while we're here, and I think I've said all I really want to say about it, except read the signs of the times, kids. Read the signs of the times. And what is it that they say? Who has power by who you cannot criticize. That was a Steve
Yeah,
classic. LOL.
that's actually true because if heck, I got um basically slightly bigger YouTuber told people not to have me on their channel anymore for going against the Doomcock narrative,
The Civil
which
War
is,
narrative.
yeah, exactly. Because I went against and I literally saw the screenshot. Um, doesn't matter now because I wanted to do less YouTube anyway. So it was just thank you, you know. But it's it's true all over the board, for big and small, really. That if someone wants to make money from a narrative, and someone goes against it, that person's out pretty fast.
Yeah. Whether you're a YouTuber, whether you're a congressman, a
Yeah,
congresswoman,
yeah,
if you cross the wrong person, they will have no mercy. But I think that just strikes me of how obvious it is. I think that they got very cocky. They really think that people aren't going to notice. Like, for example, that screenshot that you sent me of everyone saying the exact same thing over 24 hours when most conservative types will follow these same accounts.
yeah. And that
And
was just a few of them. There were way more.
yeah. And didn't they? I think the word went out that you can, depending on the size of your channel and the impressions and stuff, you can get from from starting at $700 all the way up to like thousands of dollars for one of those. And so I guess I get the temptation. And I don't know what these animal farm things were, but wow. Now I've noticed that,
I know what the animal farms were.
oh,
They were heifers.
oh, there we go, full circle. Yeah. Well, and now we know that we can't trust Angel Studios, which I guess we should have known. I think that Angel Studios started off with the right idea, but just like anyone else, you start to get money, power, the praise of men, you
Oh,
sell
would
out.
you say they are now fallen angel studios?
Ooh, dude. Make a meme, make a picture about, you know what?
You can
I
have it, and
I'll
you can use it. Use the phrase on your channel as much as you
yeah,
wish,
I'll make a
and
little,
Lorena as well.
yeah, there you go. Make a little meme thing of it. I mean, it's disappointing because they have done good stuff. I mean, was it The Sound of Freedom was really good, and so was well, The Chosen, but of course there were issues there that now The Chosen is its own thing. I have issues with The Chosen, obviously. Well, I'll have issues with any time you try to do a dramatic depiction of Christ, and there's some things that are really cringe in The Chosen, but there's some of it that's really good. And they also did, what did they
There,
do?
there's also another lesson. Be careful who you simp for, because in a month it's going to age pretty damn poorly, more often than
Yeah.
not.
That's a very good point because they will turn
Yeah.
around. I mean, I'm embarrassed by people I used to support back in the day. I mean, I'm embarrassed by a lot of things, but I guess now that you know, it's what you do once it's been exposed. But it's the height of arrogance. It's the height of pride to think that you're untouchable. It's like, haven't you read any Greek mythology, people? Any? Um, and what was the other one that I knew? We definitely found out, I think, that Posobiec is one of the shills for Angel Studios too, because it just seemed like, wait a second, every time there's a movie that comes out with Angel Studios, he's just saying it's the best thing ever and all that. And I don't know if he got caught up in the Animal Farm one, but Elon Musk, it may be him or whoever's in charge of X now, they've started to disclose if something is a paid partnership. And some of the stuff with Angel Studios, it started showing like paid partner with Angel Studios. So that might change everything. I know Minority Home, Steph, she got caught up in it because she called out, I think she called out the redheaded libertarian, and she got some stink about it. But some of this is like, people, we've been supporting y'all, and you're making fools of us. Um well, to end on something a little more lightheaded. Oh wait, not lightheaded, lighthearted. Here's another one. Demon and Angel Clothing Studios. Yeah. And who's going to trust them nowadays? It's like, wow. And then they felt like they could shame us. You see, that's the whole thing. You really think you can shame us out of the truth? They did that thing where they were making fun of people and saying that if you were complaining about Animal Farm, you're just like the pigs in Animal Farm. And it's like, ooh. It's like, wow. It's like, listen, you guys are so out of touch now. Who was it also? It might have been Gary that said that maybe these people are outing themselves in that they really don't want to be on the outside. They really are secretly wanting to be part of the cool kids table. And the second
Yeah,
they got the chance, they did.
yeah. It's basically well, I've seen similar things happen where people would go do a 180 at a chance to be at the cool kids table, and that's the same cool kids they bashed for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Suddenly you sing your tune. So it really wasn't about not liking them. It was like you wanted to be a part of them. And
Yeah,
well done. Because Hollywood's not going to welcome you, Angel Studios. And now that you have backstabbed the people that got you where you were, good luck.
they're a real piece of work.
Mm-hmm. Some conspiracy theorists are saying it was on purpose, that they were trying to sabotage him, that they knew that this Animal Farm was so bad when it got made, because I think it's been several years in the making. So they were like, hey, let's offer some forbidden fruit. Let's send the snake into the Angel Studios and offer them an apple and see if they bite. And they did.
Yeah, ironically, it was Gollum who did it to him.
I know. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they got tricked by Smeagol,
Yeah.
which also doesn't fill me with confidence about his upcoming Lord of the Rings movie, which Tolkien didn't fucking write.
No, it's just as bad as what they did with the Rings of Power and the War of the Rohirrim. It
Yeah, the Rings
what?
of Girl Power.
Yeah.
That's what it
Well,
was.
here's the thing about what is it? The Hunt for Gollum is based on what, a page, maybe, to be generous,
Yeah.
from the Council of Elrond. I think I read it while you and I were talking. It's like, yeah, that's not much.
Oh,
Um,
I looked at the cast list. One of them has a standard Norwegian name used today, like, and then in the Lord of the Rings, there's none of them. Nobody has that because
hmm,
it's names based on Norse words rather. Like Gimli, I think means golden or something.
hmm,
Uh, but now they're just taking standard Norwegian names and putting them in there where they don't belong.
no,
There's Norse stuff in Middle Earth, but not flat out modern, Norwegian names.
hmm,
So it just looks like someone used like one of those stupid Viking name generators or something. And
yeah,
I'll tell you what, most of them it's just yeah, gibberish. It's standard Norwegian names with an H added somewhere in there, which is weird because we don't really use the th sound.
no.
So
Would it be like if we suddenly had a Lord of the Rings type character that called Olaf or Steeg for
yeah,
that matter?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, technically there is one because Stieg actually means wanderer or strider.
Ah,
So,
but not the way it's used today,
no,
rather back then. And they've got the original character. What's her name? The one that Kate Winslet is playing. It sounds like that just also went through a random name generator, a Hobbit name generator. I think that it's going to be a Hobbit name. People can't, well, we don't know who it is because it's a completely original character. So,
well, if you think about it, where the heck would that hobbit be?
Yeah. And I think the reason why people think it might be a hobbit was because the origins of the name sound hobbit like. But let me see, what's it supposed to be? Um, see, hunt for Gollum.
Because
Yes.
I I get why Lee Pace is there, because they didn't they capture Gollum for a little while.
Well, yeah, that was the whole ending of it's going to be out of everything, he's the one that makes sense. Him and Aragorn.
Yeah,
And what happens at the Council of Elrond is Legolas is bringing the information to the people at the Council of Elrond that he has escaped.
yeah,
That
which
Gollum has
means
escaped.
what they achieve in this movie is literally undone right away, kind of.
Yeah.
So what's the point, really?
Yeah, it's like, oh look, we got Gollum. Oh no, he escaped. What
Yeah,
are we, what are we
like
gonna
you're
do?
you're cheering at the end of the movie. Yeah, they got him,
Yeah.
and then like we arrested him for 3 days,
Hmm.
or
Well, you know
well,
that
he
they,
was probably there longer, but yeah,
yeah,
still,
but the concept is definitely there. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, it's not even on here. Let me see.
it's like
Uh,
not all who wanders are lost, except Andy Serkis, who's fucking lost and dying from hypothermia.
okay, the character's name is Marigold. That's why I think
Yeah.
people think it might be Hobbit like because that sounds like the kind of names that hobbits would have. Because Marigold in that's no Eleanor is the one that is the daughter of Sam, but you know the idea of being named after a flower. So
Well,
that's where
Marigold certainly doesn't sound like an elf.
no.
It could be a human or something, but could it be like? Here's what I think it is. It's she's playing Bombadil's wife, and they just have a stand-in name for it that sounds similar,
Goldberry.
because she is called Marigold in Norwegian with a U.
Oh, see, we wouldn't have caught that because, of course, we know her in her English word. Wow. So they probably thought they were being very clever.
Yeah,
Yikes. Yeah.
and I can see them do that because they've already put Bombadil into that shit TV show. So they're probably thinking, oh, people want to see her as well, you know.
It's like, no, we didn't want to see any of them.
It also sounds like a role Winslet would take, to be honest.
Mm. Well, especially if you need a paycheck. I call her the dishwasher. Don't kill me. Yes. And they have to have a chick in there. Oh, man. All right. Well, let's go with some lighthearted stuff since we started talking Lord of the Rings. I have a thread that I've been doing of memes from Lord of the Rings that I just, have to do because I, want to. All right. So these Denethor ones crack me up so much, even though I love Faramir is my favorite character. All right. So no parent should have to bury their child. And then Denethor. It depends on the child. I don't know. That one cracks me up. And the Boromir one does not simply walk into Mordor. And Frodo and Sam, hold my beer. Because they
Well,
did.
also Chuck Norris, he simply walked in.
Well, that's true. That's true indeed. I thought that one was funny. The hold my beer. Yeah. Especially. And then, oh, okay. Here's another one.
Imagine Boromir hitting on a woman, right? And going, so you want to blow the horn of Gondor?
It would probably work too. All right. Yeah, this one cracks me up too. Um, this is my new girlfriend, father. You can do better. Thank you for your concern, father, but she's the love of my life. I wasn't talking to you.
And then he starts crying.
Yes. Didn't hated. Oh. Mordor walked to Truck Norris. Good one. Den hating. Oh, gotcha. That makes a little more sense. All right. And then what's the next one? Oh, yeah. Look, Dad, I was hit by 2 arrows. Boromir, Boromir was hit by 3.
He literally was hit by 3.
I know. That's what's so funny. And you see Boromir smiling and Faramir looking like he's going to cry. That whole thing. That's the expression on his face. Oh, wait. That's the one from the extended. But, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. In a lot of movies, nobody likes David Wenham. I mean, look at 300. He's the only Spartan that gets sent the fuck back.
I know.
He doesn't get to fight the final battle. They get rid of him. Like, leave. You know? Same thing there. Just.
Yeah, no one likes him. Everyone hides him away. Father, I met a halfling. Boromir would have met a holing. Oh.
Which sounds like something X-rated.
It does. Never thought I would die alone. What about side by side with your son? I wish he were here. Oh no. All right. Wait, can I get back? Son of a bitch. There we are. You wish now that our places had been exchanged, that I had died and Boromir had lived. Yes, I wish that. You're joking, right? And then Boromir's like, no. He's got that look, he's got the tears in his eyes. You know, he starts to nearly cry when he says that. Dad, I just turned 36. Ha! At your age, Boromir was 38. That's a good one. Wait, I have more of those. Oh, your son returns alive. It's fair. Oh, wait, we've already had that one. Wait, why isn't... Okay, maybe the stupid threads. Okay, let me go down. Oh, yeah, this is one that I think Rennie sent us. Yo mama so fat, when Legolas killed her, Gimli counted it as 2.
And he actually counted the elephant as 1, so that one has to be really big.
I can't.
That is factual. He said it still only counts as 1.
You're right, yeah. But the expression on Christopher Lee's face here. Oh, wait. I mean, it keeps going back to the same ones. You suck. Okay, I guess I need to go back to the thread here. Will they let me go back? All right. Oh, yeah. Denethor made armor for his sons. Armor for Faramir, armor for Boromir. Yeah, it is true. Look, his is just like leather and padded stuff, and Boromir, this is metal and a little more safe. Oh wait, it keeps going back to the same ones. I think I need to keep getting out.
After the 10th time.
I know. Sorry. Oh, here we are. Look, father, I have married a princess. Boromir would have married a queen. Dad, I started reading The Lord of the Rings. Boromir would have read the Silmarillion.
Yep.
Yeah.
What he should have said is, too bad you're in it.
Oh, good one. Yeah, the whole Faramir, Denethor shooting him. Faramir, Denethor. My line is ended. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that he's in such despair about his line ending when he was the one who sent him off to. Well,
Yeah.
father just got me a get better soon card. That was nice of him. I'm not even sick. He just thinks I could do better. Oh dear. These never get old. Oh, this is a Van Helsing reference. Father, I brought you Van Helsing. Boromir would have brought me Wolverine.
Yep.
And even
Van
then, look,
Helsing.
he's just this little monk guy, and look at Van Helsing.
Yeah, he annoys them in that one too.
Damn. Boromir wouldn't have needed that much oil. That's a good one. Under different contexts, that could be a very naughty picture. The one on top with Boromir, or sorry, Faramir, covered in oil. And then this one, I wish that were Faramir. It's like, oh man, that's terrible. It's right at that moment he gets shot too. Oh gosh, it was so shocking. Even though I knew it was gonna happen, seeing it in the movie is just it's just.
Well, it was even better in the extended version because he gets to kill piles more. But Boromir has the best outfit in Fellowship, I think.
Oh yeah, I love his outfit. I love his shield. It's just really cool. And he does have the Horn of Gondor. Want to hear a joke? Sure, Faramir. It's just his face. Yeah. This is the internet at its best. Awesome battle. Once again, we kept the forces of Mordor at bay. Here's my son Boromir and one of his friends. They do have good hair. Some of these were wigs, I think, though. They definitely had a lot of really good conditioner. If only
no, it wasn't that. They used Loth L'Oreal.
Oh no!
Oh come on, that wasn't bad.
That was a good one. Yeah. If only you were Boromir. If only you were Aragorn. I prefer Boromir, but I agree that Aragorn would be a huge upgrade. And once again, that close-up shot of him crying when right after his dad says he wished he were dead. And that was harsh. Oh, I have the best brother. Boromir has the best brother. You got me, you little brat. I've been adding. Okay, I think that's the end. Yeah, I keep adding to them because it makes me happy to do so. And life is too short to not be happy. How do I get out of here again? I always mess this up. Yeah, they keep changing the things for the StreamYard. Well, there we go. So we've been going nearly 2 hours. This was a very spontaneous thing. I was thinking of going swimming, but instead I decided to yap. I want to get some streams in. I do want to continue with everything. I'm going to be, let's see, having a thing, I think, with Hiking Faner. We're going to be doing how they could have made Morfred Clark look like Galadriel. Like, there's nothing really wrong with the actress. It's
well, she's missing at least a foot in height. Because
she is.
Galadriel is supposed to actually be like 6'6".
Well, definitely Kate Blanchett looks tall, but height of all the things that they can get around in shows, they can get around height
Yeah,
because using
I mean,
angles.
hell, you saw it in the Lord of the Rings with the hobbits.
Correct. Yeah. And using different angles and cam tricks and the clothing. Watch Animal House instead of Animal Farm. Good advice. But there's nothing wrong with the actress. So she probably is at the end of the day miscast. She probably should have been a human character, not an elf. But they could have. I mean, if you have the right hairstylist, the right clothing, the right makeup, the right lighting, she's a pretty woman. They could have made her look more like an elf, but they chose not to. They chose to uglify her. So yeah, I sometimes feel like it wasn't entirely fair with the way people were giving her grief about how she looks. It's like, no, there's nothing wrong with the woman's looks. It's how they made her look. That's the
Yeah,
problem. So,
and I've also seen her in other movies and stuff, and she is a very good actress.
mhm, yeah. But it's hard to overcome terrible writing, terrible directing, terrible cinematography, and terrible. It's, I mean, even Laurence Olivier couldn't have made this any good. So that's coming up. I'm going to be continuing with more of my book readings. I'm going to be doing more with Catholic explaining because, of course, I want to get my hours up. But I have a lot to say. I'm going to be doing the Trial of St. Thomas More. Going to be continuing with the Book of Acts. Anything else coming up? Well, we're going to be doing the Searchers. Actually, I should probably watch the Searchers. It's just
Yeah,
things have
me
been
too.
so
I need
busy.
to rewatch it.
Yeah, so
So,
the plan is hopefully we'll watch it sometimes next week, maybe the week after, but either way, we will be watching it. So this has not been a tease. It's going to happen, and we're going to review that. Steve, you got anything coming up? Are you going to be on Mars?
yes, on Wednesday, we're doing the top 10 favorite movies from 2010. It's an annual show. Sorry, no, monthly show even. Um, and we have now started our fourth decade of these top tens.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
that's
no,
pretty good. And like I said, top 10 favorites. So it doesn't have to be the best movies of the year. It's just, if you watched a cheesy B movie 20 times, it has to go on the list, doesn't it?
yeah. Now, did you say a year or are you starting to combine like more than 1 year?
No, it's we're talking about after 2015 that we're going to combine.
Okay.
But because we're not sure if we have 10 movies from 2016 that we even like, because Hollywood went down the drain. But we're definitely doing up until or up through 2015, I think. And then we are not sure yet, but we'll see how
Okay.
it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't have 10 movies between 2015 and 2026, like new movies that I
Uh,
like that I've watched more than once or twice.
yeah. Oh, there's certainly been movies I liked, but it's not like movies I keep rewatching. Like you know, uh,
Well, the Star Wars ones, the Lord of the Rings ones, I know from the 2000s.
yeah. But
Tombstone.
even heck, a movie like yeah, the Nice Guys, which is
Mm,
really rewatchable, but it certainly isn't as good as Lord of the Rings.
no.
But it can easily be someone's favorite movie from that year, you know. But we don't even get that, you know.
Mm-mm. No, we don't. It's ridiculous. And there's no reason for it either, really. I mean, you can do it, they just choose not to. Oh, dear. All right, yeah, Lorena, I'm so glad you caught Us too. Well, it was spontaneous. I wouldn't, Steve was in chats like, okay, I'll bring him on because I was ranting and raving. I just get annoyed. So sometimes, when I talk about it, talks about where I make, makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. I mean, this just really ticked me off. And shame on me, shame on me. But I guess it would be really shame on me if I fell for it the next time it happened. I mean, I'm not falling for anything anymore. I'm really black pilled right now about anything to do with the world because the veil has been lifted and we just see that, well, mm, let me see. It's all it's all the same.
I think the best advice I can give to anyone who's you know who gets caught up easily, or very hopeful, whatever it is, uh, wait and see. Give it you know a month, see what happens. Then usually crap has been revealed,
Hmm.
right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but yeah. Here's a quote for a man for all seasons I was trying to come up with, and probably a good quote as well. So here it is. If we lived in a state where virtue was profitable, common sense would make us saintly. But since we see that avarice, anger, pride, and stupidity commonly profit far beyond charity, modesty, justice, and thought, perhaps we must stand fast a little, even at the risk of being heroes.
Sean New in the chat is saying maybe the Mayans were right and 2012 was the end. I can tell you something to debunk it. In
Oh,
general, the Mayans didn't predict leap year because
hmm,
Julius Caesar implemented leap year. So that distorts the whole thing.
true.
So according to
But
that calendar, it would have happened 400 years ago.
well, one could argue, look what happened 400 years ago. It was the end for them. But point made, Sean Sue. It was the end, or maybe 2020 was. I mean,
Certainly, there was like a big shift in humanity at you know, between 2012 and 2015 or something like that, because it definitely was a odd shift, and people got a lot crazier, and it's just escalating.
yeah,
I'm wondering if more and more people are getting red pilled now, though, because it looks like it's starting to normalize a bit. I don't know, but people are certainly finally starting to fight back a bit more instead of spreading cheeks for deeper ramming and hoping that'll help.
yeah. Well, and like I said, they can keep ranting and raving. They can keep calling us names, trying to shame us. But guess what? We're not going to take it. We didn't take it from the left, and we sure as hell aren't going to take it from the right.
No, and plenty of people on Twitter have John Wick memes to prove it.
I'm not sure I get that reference.
Oh, it's like, yeah, people posting a John Wick meme, and yeah, we're gonna get you.
Oh, I see what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, justice is coming for you. Blah blah blah, stuff like that. And
Oh yeah, but but at the end of the day, it's there's one thing you can't make us do, and that's vote for you. Um, so here we go. I want to thank Steeg. Thank you, Steeg, for being here. Thank you, Star Wars Scran. Thank you, Adega Outlaw. Always great to see you, everybody. We had Lorena Creole. We had Sean Sue. We had Jacob Ironside showed up. We had Sharkbait Bully. And Nordporials came along and said hello. Anyone else? If I missed anyone, it's not intentional. Things jump around, but I think I got everybody. I am definitely nothing without you and the support that you give to this channel. And of course, thank you to my guest, Steek. I enjoyed catching up and musing with you all. And I think that, well, you know what? Just be certain not to let the bastards get you down, and definitely don't let them fool you. Um, it's like, what is it? You either live long enough to become a hero, or rather, you live long enough to become the villain. If you live long enough, you die young, or you live long enough to become the villain. And sure, I just butchered that quote, but that's okay. Well, have a great day, everyone. And remember, like I said, don't let the bastards get you down. And remember, you're not for sale. You are not for sale. And you don't owe anybody anything. Yes, it's definitely different down. I got you, Johnny. Get you. Yes. Thank you for the stream. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. It's always good to see you and everyone. So I want to thank all of my channel members, and you'll be seeing them in the outro. And that is it for this evening. Because I think I already said to be certain, be certain. So